Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the fourth chapter, that is exogenetic processes part 2. Means here, whatever the agents are acting on the earth and what landforms they are forming, that we are going to see. In the last lecture only I have told there are many agents which form the different landforms and that change the scenario of the earth. Okay, today we are going to know about the running water or the river erosional work. Actually, river is working in three steps. First one is erosion, second one is a deposition, and in between the transportation is also done. So first, by erosion some landforms we can find out, by deposition we can find out some landforms, and by the transportation also we can find out the landforms. River starts in the mountainous region and it ends near to the ocean. Very rarely the rivers can disappear within the desert, but that type of river we are not going to consider now. We are going to consider like a bigger river which originate in the mountainous region and they travel a longer time and afterwards they meet the ocean. So river is also having, like our life, that younger stage, the middle stage and the older stage. Younger stage means when the river starts, means in the mountainous area whatever the river is acting, that stage of the river is considered as a younger stage of the river. Then after that it comes to the gentler slope, that is middle stage of the river. And when it is nearer to the ocean, that time that area is very gentle with the slope. That area shows the older stage of the river. How we are comparing this with the human life? Means when we are younger, means if you observe the kids, they're not stable, they're continuously moving. Same thing we can find out in the river's younger stage. River is not stable, it is it is very less water is there if you observe the starting point of the river, but the movement and the energy is very high. I mean, speed is very high. But when you come to the middle stage, there many tributaries meet, and that's why the river become bigger one. The river become bigger one, and the content of the water is high. The As you compare the previous one stage, the this stage is a slower one. After that, when you come to the end point, there the river become very slow because of the gentle slopes. The slope is also affecting here. Okay, so here we can find out these stages. So erosion we can find out in the upper stage or the first one stage maximum. The middle stage will show the transport maximum, and the last one stage will show the deposition maximum. But it is not necessary that everywhere in the early stage it should show only the erosion, but the dominance is erosion. So river is showing erosion, deposition and transportation, these things all over the world. So today we are going to see the erosional work of the river, which forms we can find out because of the erosion. The gorge or canyons. Gorge are the deeper gorge we can find out here in the Himalayan ranges also we can find out. But here they have given us the canyons. The difference between the gorge and the canyon is the canyon, it is just like a step like a structure. Remember this one. But in Himalayan ranges we are not finding out the canyons, we are finding out the gorges, deeper portion and U-shaped valley. that is the gorge, and at the foothill you can find out the river is moving. Then the v-shaped valleys. V-shaped valleys are very common in Maharashtra, and the waterfalls. Now, if you visit near to the any ghat section, you can find out the waterfalls. So these are the examples of the erosional work of the rivers. Again, I'll repeat: a river is eroding side by side and making the different landforms. If the speed is high, because of that, the erosional power is more, and the water coming with high speed on the slope, then we can find out these type of erosional work dominantly. So gorge, v-shaped valleys, and the waterfalls. I should not explain waterfalls because everybody knows about the waterfalls, right? So these are the major erosional work of the or the landforms made by the rivers. Okay. Then transportation and deposition. Transportation and deposition means when the at the foothill, at the foothill of the mountain, the slope suddenly changes. So the river shows the deposition of coarser sediments. These depositions just look like a V shaped or just like a fan like a structure you can find out. But this is not the delta. This is coarser material, and at the foothill of the mountain we can find out. So these depositions are considered as a alluvial fans. In Himalayan ranges, when the rivers come to the foothill of the Himalaya, there very commonly these alluvial fans we can find out. And this mainly difference between the delta and alluvial fans is the coarser material and the position where it is forming. Okay, so alluvial fans we can find out. Then major thing is a meandering of the rivers. Meanders. Meanders means the river will never be in a straight line. Okay, because of the transport and the slope is very gentler. It is carrying the more water as well as the material. That's why it bends. The river starts bending. That is considered as a meandering. After traveling, the any small obstacle will be there, then it starts the meanders. So river bed became the very meandering, or just like a moving in the zigzag portion. Okay, so when the river, that diagram I'm going to give you for the meanders, what are the stages of meanders also, because of that you can understand how it is not a process within 1 or 2 years it forms. It takes a longer time, means it takes a very long time, that is hundreds and hundreds of years we need to complete one meander. After meanders become the river cannot flow that longer way, then it take a shorter way, and then the meander became the oxbow lake. The lake having the shape that oxbow like structure or a half circle, we can say that we can find out here. So meanders next step is a oxbow lake. Okay, in this area only we can find out the flood levees and the flood plains also. Flood levee or flood plains means what? In the middle stage of the rivers we can find out the river, whenever it is flooded, that time it deposit the material on the bank of the river, and because of that deposition it became the smaller tilt will be there, and that flood continuously every year. We will never expect that this much flood we can find out. So sometimes it is more flooded, sometimes it is less flooded, and that's why we can find out these flood levees, and in between that flood levees the river is moving, and because of this flooded material, the bank of the river is more fertile. Fertile soil has been bought by the river, and this floodplains are very fertile. The best example, Ganga floodplains. That area is considered as a most fertile plains in the India. Next is a deltas. Deltas are formed because of the deposition of the sediments. See, again I'll repeat, alluvial fans and deltas are different. Alluvial fans are made by the coarser material. Again, one difference I want to give you, when you travel with the river from the early stage to the delta stage, the material size is going to decrease. Means early stage you can find out the coarser or the bigger material. When you come to the middle stage, the material will be smaller one, and as you go to the near delta, the very fine material you can find out. Deltas we can find out only in those areas where the very gentler slopes we can find out. Gentler slopes and the river should have more material with it. Because of the gentler slope, the river cannot move further, and any obstacle will come, then river starts breaking the its path into two parts. Slowly, like this process continues, and then we can find out the v-shaped material is deposited in that area, and then it considered as a delta. Actually, triangular shape, it is considered as a delta in the Egyptian language. So they have used the same delta, this denotion we are using from them. So deltas we are finding out, Ganga Brahmaputra delta is bigger or biggest growing delta in the world. There we can find out some islands are also forming because of the deposition, and in Ganga Brahmaputra delta we can find out some permanent islands also we can find out. Here in your textbook we can find out many pictures has been given. V-shaped valley has been given, flood levee and flood plains are given, deltas are given. Just observe those things. Canyons or the gorges also has been given. So just observe these pictures properly. I'm going to give you the meandering, how it takes place. That also I'll explain, and the deltas also I'll explain by the step by step. So just read out exogenetic processes part 2 of that erosional work of the rivers. Next time we are going to see the glacier work and its landforms. Okay, thank you.